There's a story of a lovely lady. She's the mom to 5 boys, 7 girls. And Leon. All of them were born from a douchebag. You know the one in curls. Here's a story of a man named Davy. He was blessed with 8 kids of his own. They were living in a big house all together, yet they were all alone. Till the one day when the lady met this fella, and they knew that this was much more than a hunch, that this group might somehow form a family. That's the way they became part of Christine's bunch. It's Christine's bunch. It's Christine's bunch. That's the way they became part of Christine's bunch.
Hello, welcome back to the recap. My name is Angie, this is my husband Tim, Marty's over here, and today we are recapping from the John Wayne room.
Ooh.
It's just okay, kind of like this whole episode.
It's okay.
I know, I never watched any of those cowboy movies myself.
They're okay.
For announcements, okay, so you might have noticed that the intro is a little bit different.
It's not Friends at all.
Yeah, it's the Brady Bunch parody. It's the one that I made back in March when Christine announced she was dating David. So it's a little bit different from the first iteration because this time it actually has Leon in it. When I first made the parody, I didn't include them in the intro because I just watched season 17. And in it, Cody would say things like, oh, Christine was a great mom to Janelle and her children, and then Mary would chime in because she was still trying to support Cody in whatever he did, and she would say things like, yeah, Leon isn't involved in the skirmishes of the family, and so, in retrospect, Leon should have been there the whole time. In the part where all of Janelle's, Christine's, and David's kids are together, you might notice the amount of squares is still the same, and that's because I replaced Gwen with Leon, because Gwen didn't go and Leon did. I actually liked how that worked out because if both of them attended, then the squares would have been asymmetrical. So thank you, Gwen, for choosing Ochem over your mom. It made things a little easier on me.
Okay.
I get it. Ochem is hard.
Very hard.
Second announcement, you might have noticed that we didn't recap the look backs or talk backs.
And we don't regret it.
I'm glad we didn't because from what I've heard and seen, I don't think I've watched all of it because they were kind of hard to find. What I got from other recappers who did summarize it, I'll give Puddle Monkey credit. It wasn't boring. It was just painful. For me, when I watch a reaction video, I expect there to be some catharsis on my end because you are watching someone who you know has committed all of these offenses and they're confronted with their actions and you expected there to be some sort of introspection on their end, some sort of apology or them being uncomfortable. Unsurprisingly, we didn't get that. We either had Cody and Robin, absolving culpability. Cody would say something that was halfway revealing and then Robin would shut him up, as we'll see later in this episode. Or Cody would just downright yell at a producer and say, I'm not going to answer that. Or the both of them would walk off on their couch confessionals.
What kind of job do these people have? I've never had a job where I could just walk away because I don't want to do it.
Yeah, so I'm actually glad we didn't watch the episode because then you would have been supporting Cody and Robin, who are paid to not do their job. So that was annoying. So the next announcement is just something I want to address in case other people had similar thoughts. In my last recap, someone made a comment saying that they've tried so hard to like the channel, but they just can't because the woman is extremely lame because she reads from her phone.
At least they tried,
Yeah.
right? Oh my goodness. The effort, you could just feel it.
The reason why I read from my phone is because I read from a script. It's a script that I wrote, takes a very long time to write. But the reason why I have one in the first place is because, and I said this in a previous recap, I have really bad anxiety. I stutter a lot. There's a lot of long, awkward pauses. I meander and repeat things. And literally every other word is either like, or you know. And the only reason why these announcements are halfway decent is because I did practice talking in the mirror 10 times. If you were to listen to me just rambling, it would make for an unpleasant sounding recap. My viewers already have to watch an unpleasant reality TV show. I'm not going to subject them to then listen to an unpleasant podcast. So, to the person who made this comment, I apologize that I am extremely lame because I am thinking of my viewers' comfort.
Mm-hmm. See, Angie's doing her first YouTube apology video.
It's more of like one of those Cody apologies where he goes, I'm sorry that you suck.
I'm sorry that you are unlovable and stupid.
A strange thing to get hung up on. I guess I could be better at being deceptive of the fact that I have a script, but that would mean I would have to get something like a teleprompter or a teleprompter app, which I'm not really motivated to
spend money on those things?
Yeah, because I'm not financially compensated by YouTube yet. I guess we could also be a voiceover commentary channel, but then you wouldn't be able to see Tim's facial expressions.
Apparently that's what the people come for.
They also like to see Morty. But anyways, he's over there. He doesn't want to be in frame.
Yeah. Well, anyway, I said that it was stupid and that we shouldn't do that.
I've thought of a couple solutions for other people who didn't like the fact that I read from my phone. You can just, pretend we're a regular podcast. You don't actually have to watch the video.
You can close your eyes. That's something they do.
Or you can just, watch another Sister Wives YouTuber. There are a lot of them now, and some of them will even pretend to make eye contact with you.
I've got one too, which is if after you've tried both of those things, but you still are feeling really pent up about this, I want you to write it down on a piece of paper and then roll that piece of paper up and then cram it into whichever hole you believe is most appropriate.
Yeah, Tim is a little less diplomatic about negative comments.
Yeah.
Next announcement. For those of you who have been with us for a while, you might have remembered that during a season 1 rewatch episode, I made this announcement, and this was before season 18 dropped. I'm going to be a little bit busy after August, so I'm not sure how much time I can commit to a weekly cartoon. At the very least, you'll be getting a recap every week. So that obviously didn't come to fruition. In the end, I was able to create an animation every week. A reason I was able to accomplish something like that was because I cut down the amount of hours at my job by a lot. During the break, I actually reverted back to my old schedule because of responsibilities and stuff. So unfortunately, that does mean I'm going to have to decrease the amount of YouTube videos I'll be able to make. And before you say anything, I know someone's gonna go, Angie, why don't you just monetize your channel? That way you can just do YouTube full time. And I will say to that person, I actually have monetized my channel. My content just got approved last week, so I personally don't know how much I would make from YouTube. I don't foresee myself making a substantial amount. What I've heard from other Sister Wives recappers who have monetized their channel, they say that their videos tend to get maybe $20 to $30 in AdSense ad revenue for the month it was uploaded if it was lucky enough to garner maybe 15 to 20,000 views, which is sort of on par with a lemonade stand.
And not particularly successful lemonade stand. Last time we checked, you had made 60 cents, right?
Yeah. So, woo, 30 cents a day. Okay.
30 cents a day average.
Well, I didn't upload any new videos.
Good point.
But I'm still trying to see how this turns out. Because for me, it's not unusual to put in 40 plus hours of work into one recap. And that includes the brainstorming and creation of the animation, the writing of the script, the filming, the editing it down. That's a huge step.
The audio mixing.
Yeah, the rewatching for mistakes, rewatching it again for next week's animation idea, and then responding to the comments. You can see where I'm getting at here, right? There's sort of an imbalance. That's why I'm hesitant to put everything on the back burner and make YouTube my main thing. I can see someone making decent money from YouTube if you're one of those content creators that are able to produce multiple videos in a short amount of time, which is not something I can replicate because, again, with my anxiety, I do have to write everything out before I'm confident to say it on camera. And again, with the animation, those things take a long time. For those of you who have ever dabbled in that hobby, you will find yourself agonizing over frames upon frames of animation, and each frame is like 1/12 of a second, and each animation is 30 plus seconds. What I'm saying is I can't meet the YouTube demand to make YouTube as sustainable as a regular job.
Angie has a bad habit of going really overboard on things. It's not uncommon for her to just not sleep for a day or two because she has to watch and rewatch and edit.
Yeah, I tend to have very little self-control when it comes to my own projects. Going forward, I will recap these 2 wedding specials. But after January, obviously because I'm going to be a lot busier, I am going to slow down the amount of recaps I do. I've even voiced this to Tim where I said I don't even know how I'll be able to recap season 19 because that would again mean having something else take a back seat. In this case, it would be work.
What could possibly happen that would be interesting in season 19 anyway?
Well, what I want to happen in season 19 is Robin to just leave Cody.
I mean, maybe.
Take half of his stuff, leave him in poverty, have him experience his greatest fear.
I don't know. Like, maybe if Robin got hit by a car and they had to rebuild her, like the...
Terminator?
No, like the Bionic Man.
Oh, okay.
And she now has the ability to, like, jump and have it go do. She has a telescopic neck and it goes do. You know, something interesting. If they went full on fictional about this, and then after this happens, then Nick Fury comes on and is like, I want to invite you to join the Avengers. Like, maybe I would care. But as far as the show is going, it's gotten way more boring. We thought that this...
last season would be like, this is fireworks and explosions. It was just a lot of dragging stuff out.
Yeah, we thought it was going to be an explosion. It was more like a wet fart.
Anyways, yeah, that's an accurate description.
I mean, it was incendiary, but not in a great way, in an embarrassing way.
Sorry, those announcements were very long and obnoxious. So let's get to this episode.
Speaking of long and obnoxious.
All right. Sister Wives Season 18, Episode 19, Christine and David's Wedding, Part 1.
Oh boy.
We start off the episode with some breathtaking drone shots of the craggy red canyons of Moab, Utah. Christine arrives at an Airbnb. She exits her vehicle to greet her mom and younger sister. The bride and groom-to-be are shown in their first talking head of the episode.
As of right now, these 2 have been together for 10 months.
Remember that number.
Christine once again informs us of how she met David. She saw his profile online, fell in love with his pictures, and subsequently messaged him. David recounts the then single woman as aggressive in her efforts to meet in person.
Yeah, sounds about right for Christine.
Janelle is asked to expound upon the engaged couple's interactions. She and her sister-wife don't exchange very many words concerning their love lives. However, Janelle vividly recalls the times when Christine would gush at how much David helps her, something that was, for 26 years, absent within her first marriage.
What does Cody even do?
Whenever there was some big party, Cody was mysteriously unavailable during the prep, leaving Christine to handle all of it.
Or just to sleep on the couch because it was just so tiring carrying his ego around?
Heavy is the head that carries the ego. The bride-to-be gives the lowdown of who's staying where. The OG 12 kids are staying in the rental. Christine expects the Airbnb to be very full during that period. We then meet another family member, Christine's sister, Bethany. Christine then reveals that she herself is one of 11 siblings. She says every one of her 9 brothers and sisters RSVP'd except for one. The 51-year-old woman goes on to say that her mom, Annie, will be in attendance, as well as her other mom, who is unnamed. She reiterates that Cody, Robin, nor Mary have been invited to this celebration.
Because why would you?
We get more insight into the beginnings of Christine and David's story. Christine was head over heels for this new man. She was attracted to his eyes and bald head. Likewise, David also thought Christine was hot. She had an irresistible glow about her that he found incredible. The man of the hour finally arrives to the rental, carrying a tote full of props. He and Christine proposed that after the reception is over, everyone should exit wearing these glasses made of glow-in-the-dark sticks.
Because Christine's so quirky.
I think I remember an Instagram post of David, Christine, and Truly trying them on back in late September. David was like, "This will be a fun party favor."
Yeah.
He gives one of the glasses to his grandsons, who then ask if he can wear them in a dark room. This segues into the topic about the groom's family. Before meeting Christine, whenever David was on a first date, he would immediately disclose that he is a father to 8 children. Christine, who of course is a mom to 24 kids herself, was excited about this attribute. David is already used to the concept of a large family, which might make him more apt to get used to Christine's own familial structure. Speaking of Christine's family structure, the first of her children make their entrance. Mykelti, Tony, and their sons barge in through the front door. They talk briefly about Christine's attire, a white shirt that will most likely get stained with some barbecue, the food of the rehearsal dinner. Mykelti makes bets with David about that possibility. The glow-in-the-dark glasses are assembled for the event. We are given deets about the number of guests that will be in attendance. Roughly 300. Mykelti and Tony boast that they had 150 more people at their wedding than that. David brushes off the comment saying, "It's about quality, not quantity." These two just try to make everything about themselves.
Yes, they do. They're obnoxious.
Christine picks up where she left off in her and David's love story. She tells us how their second date went down. This is when she revealed everything about her. How she was an ex-third wife to a polygamist jackwagon for 26 years. Before she left, she was a mother to 18 kids total. Then the cherry on top, she has been a reality TV star for 13 years. Expecting this to be a bombshell, the only thing David had to say was, "Girl, I know. I don't live under a rock."
I wouldn't have known. If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't have known who the hell she was.
I mean, he lives in Utah.
Yeah, I know, but like...
I told you about the U.S. map of reality TV shows, right?
Yeah, I know, but do 59-year-old men watch reality television show?
I mean, they might have female family members that do.
Okay, I mean, maybe.
We shift gears to someone who is definitely living under a rock, at least in regards to Christine. Cody is out and about, doing what he does best, logging some trees on his property.
He never does this.
We see the jackwagon using a chainsaw to fall one of them in front of the McMansion. He curses as the pine tumbles in the wrong direction. So I was thinking, why was he going, "Damn it"? It didn't fall on him, it fell away. Where did he want it to go?
When you're cutting down a tree, you need it to fall in a very specific place. He's very lucky it didn't destroy something.
Yeah.
If it had hit him, oh, that'd have been good television.
He's like, "This is a big tree. It's the little ones you have to be fearful of."
Oh, yes. I'm taking my anger out on this big tree that used to be a little tree. It can't hurt me anymore. But why is he cutting down trees anyway?
I guess to sell it for lumber?
What? He's always stripping logs and stuff. Do you really think they use a fireplace?
I think they do. I guess he's selling the wood. I don't know.
Who comes by and buys... Oh, you know what? I don't know.
Okay,
Maybe.
Cody apparently had no clue of the date of his ex's wedding until he visited one of his sisters who had the invitation just lying around for him to see. He goes, I was curious that some of my own family was invited to the wedding. Those disloyal traitors. He didn't say that last part, but you can tell he's so annoyed.
Yeah, he tries to play it off as if he's delightfully bemused, but in reality, we know that he's just thinking that, these people have betrayed me.
Yeah, it's like, gotta put them on that list now. The cosplaying lumberjack claims that he isn't perturbed by this news in the slightest. In fact, he is totally fine and is resolved with it. Once again, Cody halfway starts a sentence that would make his part in the episode somewhat valuable, but then Robin shuts him up. He goes, Christine made this accusation that... He gets cut off by the actual head of the family. Robin puts her arm around Cody to bring him in closer to her. She's an inch away from his face and loudly asserts, aren't we just so happy for them?
You can tell that these two had a conversation about how they wanted to be portrayed in this. And Robin is like, we're going to make it look like we're happy and well-adjusted and over this. Aren't we? And then he probably begrudgingly said, okay. And then they got on camera and Cody's like, well, I better try to get something in edgewise. And she's like, no, we agreed. We are nice and happy.
In Robin's segments of this special, she came off extremely controlling and unpleasant. Not a good look.
No.
Cody, understanding where this is going, then tries to explain himself. He utters, I'm just telling an old story. She almost rolls her eyes as she repeats the rhetorical question. Aren't we just so happy for them? Right? That's what we want?
Oh my God.
The spineless man tries to hint at what he was alluding to. He just wanted to say that Christine told her children that their dad found his soulmate, so she wanted to find hers. All the while, Robin is sitting next to him, making the most irked expression.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Angie made some comments about Robin's appearance, and I'm just like, I agree.
Anyways, back to Moab. David tells those at the table that there will be a barbecue that will serve ribeye. For some reason, Mykelti has to one-up her future stepdad, saying she and Tony made carne asada, which is better than ribeye.
Mykelti. I don't know. Is she playing up for the camera, or is she just that much of an attention hog?
Yeah, everything has got to be about her, whether that be her mom's birthday, her mom's send-off. Mykelti just feels she has to make things more interesting by saying something obnoxious.
She's so tiresome.
The mother of three elucidates on her audacious personality. Mykelti actually has a positive opinion of David. She warns that you need to be more worried if she isn't teasing you. Her playfulness should be taken as a sign of affection. We learn more about David's backstory. To the Padrones' delight, David actually has some ties to Mexico. The groom-to-be actually has family that have lived polygamy. In fact, he has two sisters that are living that lifestyle right now in Mexico. This actually didn't surprise me. I remember during the 2012 presidential campaign, it was mentioned that Mitt Romney's father was raised in a polygamist commune in Mexico.
Yeah.
And that's where I learned that there were some Mormons that emigrated to Mexico and Canada during the 1880s to avoid religious persecution. And I guess David's ancestors were one of those groups of people.
Yeah.
David makes it very clear that he has no intention of being a polygamist. He recalls the first time Christine broached that subject. He went, nope, don't ever speak of that word, polygamy, again. Mykelti continues her teasing. She mentions the year of when her parents pressured her and Tony to have a winter wedding. This was so that they would not intrude on Maddie's special time. She goes, you guys should probably wait a couple months. I don't know, maybe December? She jokingly makes a face. Christine gets the implication and responds with, shots fired. The playful woman explains why she is being rather salty with her mom. Mykelti and Tony were dating in October 2015. 5 months later, she announced to her family of her plans for marriage. This was met with dissatisfaction from Cody and Christine, who didn't think the young adults had known each other long enough. As a result, Mykelti and Tony couldn't get married until December. Mykelti points out the duplicity of her mom's thinking, who has only known David for 10 months.
Nah, I call bullshit on that. It was not about them not knowing each other long enough, because it's normal in their community to get married after 2 weeks.
Yeah.
It was because either they didn't want to step on Maddie's toes, because Maddie was the golden child compared to terrible Mykelti, who's always making bad decisions, and also there was probably some racism involved. So
I think Tony alluded to racism in their Patreon once. I can't remember. I have to go find a Reddit post about it because I'm not subscribed to them. But to be fair to Christine and Cody, both of them were living in St. George. And even Christine says Tony only came to visit the family maybe twice to have dinner in Vegas. And then Mykelti, who again likes to be obnoxious, kind of sprung this on them because she likes the shock factor. And then Mykelti is surprised when Christine wasn't, yeah, let's have you get married. I don't know who this guy is, but let's do that. Let's have that happen. I can see where Christine was coming from.
I don't know. I think that Mykelti's more than justified at being irritated with her mother.
Okay, you can think that. Christine owns up to the fact that she isn't completely innocent in regards to Mykelti's point. For the longest time, the bride-to-be has been telling everyone that she has known David for about a year, even though it was a little bit of a shorter time frame. She goes, "Shh, don't tell my children." She whispers as to why to David, because I told them they needed to wait a year to get married. Mykelti summarizes her mom's behavior. "We call them hypocrites." Tony chimes in, saying that the appropriate response is to say, "We don't know David well enough, so we need to get to know him better. We're just not there yet." He doesn't come from a polygamist family, which in retrospect, David kinda does, now that we know he has sisters living in polygamy. In the background, you can see Christine and David giving each other a high five. The two kids head on back to the table. Mykelti questions her mom if eloping was ever an option. Christine denies that alternative, since it was always her dream to walk down the aisle. She's just excited to say yes. Christine becomes her usual playful self and adds, "And David is ready to say yes to anything I want." She and her daughter laugh. The producers ask the bride-to-be of the circumstances surrounding her first marriage to Cody. Christine labels it as a private affair. Any wives that weren't the first or legal ones had smaller weddings. She tries to imply that Robin was an exception, maintaining that within these kinds of spiritual unions, there is no dancing, cake cutting, nor partying. Janelle's and her weddings were just simple family dinners. Just like during Easter, Christine is excited to bring back all of those traditions that she never experienced.
Except for the ones she doesn't like.
Yeah, like the not getting ready for the wedding in your pajamas or not having a bridal party. Back to the love story. The 51-year-old lets slip that when she embarked onto the dating scene, she anticipated going on many dates. In fact, when she had her first one with David, she actually had another scheduled for later that evening. Since she was already smitten with David, she went ahead and canceled on the second man, believing that she had already found the one.
Okay. Just my entire opinion of this special. I'll share it at the end. I'll share my thoughts of the entire episode once at the end.
All right. It is the morning of the wedding rehearsal. Breakfast mimosas are being prepared by the hair and makeup stylist. They inform the ladies that they have prepared a DIY facial kit in preparation for looking fresh for tomorrow. The women in attendance are, of course, all of the daughters and daughters-in-law. We get the POV of 4 of Christine's daughters on the event. All of them are excited. Aspen and Isabel say their mom deserves to have someone obsess over her.
That makes sense.
I think it's great to have someone obsess over you.
No, I'm saying that it's absolutely normal and acceptable. I'm just saying, why is this on TV?
Okay.
I'm actually kind of glad that Christine has somebody obsessing over her, because she's never had anyone that even really cared about her at all. She's never had anyone actually like her before. Maybe Cody claimed to have loved her, but I don't think he ever liked her.
Well, yeah, as he said in the past season, it was a performance.
Yeah.
Truly is a bit more casual than her sisters. The reasoning for this is because she has been living under the same roof as her mom and David since April. She didn't say that last part. Truly just says that she's been living with them for a while now. I had to Google when Christine and David bought their Lehigh house, and an article said sometime in March, so I assumed all three of them moved in a month later, which was around the same time Christine announced her engagement. Truly expresses that she already sees them as a married couple since they already live in the same house. Her mother always has to correct her, saying it's not official yet. I don't know if Truly has anything to compare what marriage is supposed to be because her only experience of two people being married is the fact that they cohabitate, since obviously that's what her mother did for 26 years since there was no legal marriage.
Yeah, and also just Truly's never seen a man be around before, so she doesn't know what marriage looks like.
Yeah, we'll get more insight into Truly's opinions later. Mykelti interjects, saying that she is also on the same page as her younger sister. She doesn't feel like there is an adjustment that needs to be made since she already views David as a stepfather figure already. Oof, wait till Cody reacts to that.
He doesn't react well to anything. And so the stepfather is the next evidence of betrayal. Cody loves to just collect instances of betrayal.
Evidences.
Yeah, he has a pinboard with all of his children with red lines connected to their betrayal so that he can keep track of who he can and can't love.
Oh, God.
Cody's a jackass. Cody's a jackass.
Okay. Christine gives details of how her youngest has been taking in these recent turn of events. Truly says it's weird to have a guy living with them full time since she hasn't experienced that before. Her mom reassures her that David doesn't want to replace Cody as her dad. So that's actually a pretty healthy perspective. As much as some of the fandom want it to happen, David doesn't want to pull a Robin, aka he doesn't want to force a child to see someone else as their parental figure.
I mean, as much as people want him to come in and just dunk on Cody, I don't think that'd be good for any of the kids. David's a stand-up guy.
Mykelti, who never misses a chance to be the center of attention, then asks her mom a random question as she is getting her makeup done. Mom, out of all your daughters, am I the most fun? Christine doesn't outright affirm her daughter's assumption. She just says Mykelti is able to read a room to see how she can elevate the mood. Christine likens Mykelti to one of David's daughters who also enjoys bolstering morale within a party.
Christine, you're wrong. She doesn't know how to read a room at all. She's just like you.
Because this reminded me of the time Mykelti had, I think, her bridal shower or something, and Aspen and her were preparing Mexican hot chocolate, and Aspen was getting stressed and frustrated, and so Christine thought it was a good idea to just kind of run around the room screaming like a banshee to break the tension, and that just made Aspen more stressed. I'm like, Christine, why did you think that was a way to elevate the mood or bolster morale?
Yeah. What?
Because I think Mykelti also gets that from her mom.
Oh, she absolutely does.
Where she thinks she's being quirky, and it just comes off as...
Pain in the assy?
Yes. Okay. The daughter that Mykelti is being compared to speaks up. Reagan indicates that it was interesting for her dad to pursue someone like Christine due to the both of them being extroverts with strong personalities. They both enjoy the role of leader. In other words, they like taking charge of a situation. Reagan describes the two as bossy. Someone who also enjoys being bossy is Mary.
Why are you here, Mary?
Down in Parowan, we see the astute businesswoman decorating her porch with Ghost in preparation for spooky season at Lizzie's. I'm just going to gloss over her since, again, there was no reason why Mary needed to be included.
The show glossed over her.
She just says that she's sad about the big picture, but she's glad Christina's found true love and just hopes that the same will happen to her.
At least it didn't have the fucking carriage house in it.
Yeah, stupid carriage house. The entire group gathers at a nearby lodge for the rehearsal wedding. David arrives wearing a shirt with the words, the groom, the man, the myth, the legend. This reminded me of a reel where Christine and him were playing around with one of those TikTok filters.
Says, what shark? What shark?
Oh, come on, get a big one.
I'm a frilled shark? What the heck is a frilled shark? Damn it, it was quirky. Let's see what yours is. Greenland shark, you're legendary. Ooh.
Legendary shark.
You're legendary.
I can't get rid of it.
No. I want to see what it looks like. Hold still.
I just thought that was funny. He was a legendary shark, and now he's wearing a shirt that says he's the legend.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, those who are there to greet them are all of Janelle's kids and their partners. I noticed one of the people in the background was Maddie's best friend / maid of honor, Desi. I think that's her, since in her social media, she's wearing the same tiger-striped glasses. So that made me think, literally everyone is invited to this wedding, except for Cody, Robin, and Mary.
Yeah.
Janelle conveys that David is a very cool person. Christine and David are very similar in that they don't know a stranger. Both exhibit an air of hospitality where they're always inviting people over to their house for get-togethers. The actual rehearsal starts. Aspen is leading the charge in terms of direction. Christine gives a general idea of the order of the procession. Annie marches down the aisle, followed by the ring bearer, Truly, and then Christine's father and Peyton will walk the bride herself. The bride commends her oldest daughter on her leadership abilities, saying she is intimidated by Aspen. Aspen shouts good advice to the wedding party. Walk slower than you think you have to.
Because when you get nervous, you walk faster than you should be.
Mm-hmm. As David walks up to the stage, he does the most dad thing and pretends to trip. He takes a bow due to his impressive combat tumble. Sorry, there's not much to review on. It's mostly summary because...
There's no insight or anything like that. I'll give you my opinions on the episode when we get to the summary at the end. Oh, I'll let you know.
Christine explains that due to Rex, Christine's father, being unable to walk up the stairs, Peyton will go ahead and help his grandfather sit back in the crowd. More information is told about Christine's dad. Being active in their church, her father was able to attend Cody and Christine's spiritual union. Due to his poor health, Christine doesn't want to chance things with the wedding march. She is keeping it simple in case her father has a bad day. We get a heartwarming confessional from Annie. A producer asks what is it like seeing her daughter walk down the aisle. Isabel adds to the question, asking her grandmother to compare her feelings to her mom's first wedding. Annie chokes up, saying she can't comment on the one with Cody since she wasn't even there. Yeah, that's a thing in Mormon marriages. They happen in temples. I'm guessing the AUB does something similar where if you don't hold a temple recommend, i.e. if you're not a member of the religion who follows all of the strict protocols, then you can't enter the temple. So you don't get to see that particular relative's sealing or wedding. I remember Christine saying her parents were already divorced and her mother left the religion by the time Christine was in her 20s. So yeah, that would have meant Annie wouldn't have been able to see her daughter get married. It's definitely a tactic Mormons use in order to incentivize people to stay in the church.
Mm-hmm.
You better keep being an active member or you can't see your child's or niece's or sister's wedding.
Yeah, you have to renew your qualification periodically. If it lapses, then you have to go get it renewed. And
even people who are members of the church don't necessarily have a temple recommend because you need to do things like you need to go to your bishop and say that you are following the word of wisdom, i.e. you don't drink alcohol or coffee, you keep the law of chastity.
You pay your tithing.
You do have to pay 10% of your income to the church in order to get that sweet, sweet temple recommend.
Yeah, which you need for salvation, so. Oh, man. It's a sweet system they got going.
Annie tears up as she describes how much of a force of good her daughter has been in her life and is just so excited for what's to come. David and Christine walk up the steps and look out over the waters, taking in the picturesque scene. This serene moment is then juxtaposed with Cody's stupid face. Baldylocks gives us a jump scare as he explains how checked out he was during his third wedding.
Please don't cut out your inability to read Baldylocks. It's hilarious. Oh my goodness. Every time Cody shows up on screen, my eyes go back to focus. I hate him, and I wish he wasn't there.
But unfortunately, he is sort of one of the more interesting elements that happen in the episode.
It's kind of like if you tripped and skinned your knee. That was the most interesting thing that happened to you that day. It was unpleasant.
Yeah, you prefer it wasn't there, but it was memorable. During the interview, you can see Cody donning his David Yurman Heart of the Ocean men's pendant again.
Men's pendant.
He offers his congratulations and hopes Christine and David have a beautiful day. Back to Moab, we see the group boarding a boat to take a short cruise along the Colorado River. This vessel is actually just a floating bar. Too bad Mary ain't here. Mm-hmm. Christine proceeds to down a can of beer as every passenger chants in unison to egg her on. Chug, 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 chug. Unsurprisingly, this leads to the topic about drinking within their religion, or their ex-religion.
Oh boy, so interesting.
This obviously went against their church's teachings. Christine is now doing a lot of what was considered taboo, which includes consuming alcohol and getting tattoos.
See, that's the thing about Mormonism, is their idea of the worst thing a person can do is basically just drink alcohol and have tattoos and have sex.
Outside of marriage.
Yeah, outside of marriage. Those are the worst things a person could possibly do. And so when some people leave, they're just like, oh, I'm going to be such a bad person. I'm going to get a tattoo right here. It's a Celtic symbol that means new beginnings. Normal people just look at them and go, okay.
Christine just thinks that she's just a rebel, but...
She's so cookie cutter clean still.
She even says that. She says, I'm still so sheltered. Now that everyone is a little more relaxed, Christine asks if anyone wants to take this stage to give her and David any well wishes. Janelle is first. Christine hands over the mic. Her sister wife expresses that she is so lucky to be a part of Christine's fairy tale. She is appreciative that Christine was a mother to her children, and that Janelle herself could be that parent to Christine's kids in return. The former second wife has to emphasize that she does have big things coming her way, but none of that includes being married again or having a man around. We hear Mary's predictions concerning her own love life.
But we weren't listening, so let's just... I'm just kidding.
Okay, she doesn't plan on being single forever and hopes that she will meet her soulmate. She is optimistic about her prospects, despite being married to a man who claimed to never love 3 of his 4 wives.
Mary's got a bad batting record at this point. Cody, no. Her fake internet boyfriend, no. The carriage house.
I think someone, I don't know where it was posted, I just remember someone mentioning it, saw Mary with a guy and they were at somewhere out and about. I don't know if it's someone serious or not. The boat docks and everyone returns to dry land. Christine greets her elderly father, who congratulates her and expresses how happy he is that his daughter has found true love. For the longest time, he had been frustrated with his ex-son-in-law and is glad David will be there to support Christine. I remember during season 17, Christine voiced her dad's initial reaction when she told him she was divorcing Cody.
Like when I first told my dad that I was leaving Cody, he was really, really sad and really it was hard for him because he loves Cody. And so we just kind of tabled the conversation. Yeah. When my house had an offer and I found a rental, my dad was one of the first people that I called and he just said, welcome home.
I think in the beginning, Rex actually did like Cody. I think that was expressed in their memoir. But I'm guessing over time, Christine's dad found out Cody wasn't that great of a spouse to his daughter. So in this moment, he's just very happy for her.
Good.
Because I think he was saying something along the lines of like, I can't believe I lost her. I can't believe I lost her. He might have been mimicking Cody. It was a little hard to make out what he was saying.
That's what I interpreted him as saying.
Anyways, it is finally the morning of the wedding. The day starts with Truly barging in through the door in a long trench coat, announcing to everyone, "Hello, my children!"
So quirky.
Anyways, Mykelti becomes fickle, asking why her mother isn't getting ready in pajamas, which is apparently a tradition. Christine counters her daughter, saying she is feeling defiant and is rewriting a lot of what was thought to be conventional. In fact, Christine and David have decided to scrap the entire idea of a wedding party. She wants the both of them to be the sole focus. No one but them, and their officiant, will be taking the stage. She makes a joke, saying she's been sharing within her marriage for nigh on 3 decades. Now is her and her fiancé's time to be the center of attention.
Okay.
There is a change of participants within the couch confessionals. Maddie and Hunter are shown asking what they think of the nuptials. Madison says there is a mix of emotions. She feels this intense excitement for her bonus mom, but is also feeling the absence of the other family that isn't there. She laments that there is still animosity between that family and the ones who are present. Hunter nods in agreement.
I mean, we've watched the show. We know.
David and the rest of the guys gather in their part of the lodge. We are introduced to one of David's son-in-laws, Corbin. Apparently, Corbin paid $50 to take an exam in order to be licensed as an officiant. The lone question to pass was to answer correctly. Should you be marrying cousins? If you answered in the affirmative, you'd fail.
I mean, unless you're in Alabama.
Yeah, family wreath. I'm not even sure if... I mean, it's possible that because David has also polygamous roots that Christine and David are distant cousins.
Yeah, absolutely. There's very little chance that that's not the case.
I even heard that Cody was related to Robin's ex. There are crossovers. Katie, another one of David's daughters, recounts a time when her husband, Corbin, made a joke when Christine was dating her dad. Corbin said that since he is a licensed officiant, and there are witnesses among them, it is possible that he could just marry them right then and there. Christine laughed off the suggestion, but ended up calling him a few months later for that exact favor.
If you know a guy, you know a guy.
Oh, by the way, the one kid in my parody was actually Katie. I don't know if it looks like her or not.
It's fine.
Okay. I've been seeing the Browns so much, I kind of know what their faces are. Anyways.
I can't tell the difference between any of Christine's daughters.
Corbin's only stipulations from his dad-in-law and Christine was that his sermon had to be brief. It had to allude to his love for the both of them, to comment on finding love later in life, and most of all, to not make inappropriate jokes. He laughs heartily at that last directive. Back to the boys. David is arranging his outfit on a bed, but realizes there are 2 dress shirts of different colors, and he forgot which one Christine wanted him to wear. Tony is not very helpful. He just comments that the requisite color palette of rust and plum were difficult to find, at least for him.
One is a oxidized metal and the other one's a fruit.
It was like a kind of a deep orange and then a dark, dark purple. Tony then asks if he knows what Christine's dress looks like. David has no idea since that was one of the surprises. This shocks the young father who did go wedding dress shopping with his bride. I'm glad we're shown that David doesn't know what the dress looks like. That obviously was a sensitive topic for Christine. Because Cody picked out Robin's dress.
And also that Christine hated her dress.
Yeah, and Cody couldn't care less of what Christine wore during their wedding.
No, he kept looking at himself.
God, he's so full of himself.
Yep.
The cameras then turn the attention to the women. 3 of Christine's daughters have surprises in store for their mom. Isabel gifts Christine shoes with a penny superglued on each of them. This is a German wedding custom that symbolizes prosperity. Aspen then presents her mom with 2 pieces of jewelry. One is a bracelet with the bride and groom's first initials engraved onto it. The second is a pair of earrings Aspen wore on her wedding day. She reassures her mom that if Christine has another pair that she'd rather wear, she can disregard the token. The appreciative woman denies the supposition, saying she would be honored to wear Aspen's earrings. Finally, we get to Mykelti, who is lending the cutlery that she used on her wedding day for the cutting of the cake. It's funny when they went in for a group hug, Mykelti had to hold the knife behind her back. Looked like she was about to cut someone. The wedding day arrangements are underway. Aspen is curling Isabel's hair, and the two have a nonchalant conversation about their mom's soon-to-be husband. Isabel says it's strange that David is already being referred to as their stepdad. Aspen is taken aback, saying she isn't comfortable with calling him anything but David. Isabel agrees, saying they didn't grow up with him as a parental figure, so it would be weird if he was now referred to as stepdad. The girls get into the semantics of what their label is in relation to their mom's would-be husband. They don't know if they are his stepdaughters. Aspen puts it simply that they are all just family, and that is what she refers to David as.
Yeah, I guess so.
I guess it would be strange to then refer to someone as stepdad. I mean, my parents divorced when I was a sophomore in high school. My mom started dating my future stepdad when I was a junior, and then they got married when I was a senior. And I still call him by his first name, but I have a little brother who was 4 when my mom got remarried, and he still refers to our stepdad by his first name, so.
Yeah, my grandma remarried, and we just call him Bob, so.
Yeah. Don't overthink it, girls.
Yeah.
We get the douche canoe's unneeded stance on what he believes David's title is to the rest of his children. Cody doesn't think Truly will ever refer to David as a father figure since she is too old. He backtracks on that statement, saying it is a possibility, but in the end, it is his kids' choice of what they will call David.
Seems reasonable enough.
It kind of rubbed me the wrong way of how gleeful Cody was at the prospect that Truly won't see David as a father figure.
It rubs me the wrong way whenever Cody's ever gleeful.
Because when he was expressing that opinion, he was smiling, and I'm thinking, well, Truly does live with David. How is it not a possibility that she might refer to him as something?
And who cares whether or not she calls him stepdad or dad? If she likes him more than you, what's the difference?
I know in the end Cody did say it's their choice, but I don't know. I just like to hate on Cody. The boys have a powwow in their part of the rental. Hunter and Caleb express that Christine and David are similar in the fact that they are both party animals. Their version of a good time is when everyone around them feel at ease and are having fun. Tony asks the groom if the nerves have set in. The 59-year-old denies the assertion, but he is emotional. He just thinks it's so awesome to be in this location and marrying the love of his life. All of these are very sweet. Again, it's not much I can really comment on.
It is what it is.
Yeah, but some people like it, and I appreciate that. Christine flaunts her final wedding hairstyle to her daughters. She has opted for the twist-back look. Aspen approves. Isabel recalls a tender moment between Christine and David. The 20-year-old apparently has never seen someone say, "I love you" so much to someone else as David does with Christine. Isabel describes David's interactions as honest and pure. Not performative, as someone else in this family would do. It is now Maddie's turn to gush about David. She is about to give an account of how she had come to love and accept him as family. She pauses and is hesitant to say that story on camera. Christine goes over and hugs her anyway. Maddie just says that David is awesome and is just happy Christine is able to get her fairy tale. It is heartwarming to see all the kids just be so
supportive of their mother.
Yeah.
It's also kind of sad because that means that the kids all knew how much she was suffering.
Mm-hmm. It's so obvious that all of these kids knew how neglectful Cody was towards their mom way before Christine decided to allegedly trash talk to them, which, again, I'm not sure if that was a thing. We briefly learn of how Christine viewed Maddie's wedding day. It was during that wedding Christine knew what it meant to be a glowing bride. She felt sad that she might never experience that big wedding her own daughters got to experience. Her wedding day to Cody was hard and awful. It is finally time to leave the rental. Christine's daughters are seen in their formal dresses wearing the color scheme. Truly is wearing a plum-colored romper and carrying an emergency bag of Sour Patch Kids to the car. They're heading back to the Red Cliffs Lodge. We see the men make their way to the chairs outside. As they exit their room, everyone is looking spiffy, with the exception of Tony, who forgot to tuck in his shirt. In the meantime, Christine meditates and sits on the floor of the John Wayne's room with the camera crew. She gives herself a few minutes to take in the moment. After some time, she stands up, ready to get into her wedding dress. End of episode.
That happened. The episode was basically what it's like to be invited to the wedding of some people that you're not particularly fond of, that are kind of boring. You're just kind of sitting around all day waiting for it to end. They're always making jokes that are boring, and you're just like, okay, everybody behaves exactly the way that they're supposed to.
It all just happens uneventfully, and at the end of the day, everyone just goes home. So sorry it was more recap than review. I didn't really know what to comment on. I did like seeing the heartwarming moments when Christine's parents would say something that just showed how much they loved their daughter, or how much Christine's daughters are so happy for their mom. But
there's no commentary.
Yeah.
That's like, good. That's a good thing that happens.
It's wholesome, so...
I mean, I don't have any particular emotional connection to any of these people, so...
I was annoyed that Cody and Robin were included, because we'll see it later in the next special where Robin full-on kisses Cody, and then she kind of waves her hand to the camera. That's kind of disrespectful. Producers to have that in Christine and David's wedding special, like, what's wrong with you guys?
Yeah, the producers are just a pain in the The only memorable thing that happens in this entire episode is when Cody yells "damn" when the tree falls in the wrong direction. I hate Cody. I don't want to see Cody. I would prefer the episode to not have Cody, and yet that was the most interesting thing that happened in the episode. If I gave a synopsis of what happened, they prepared a wedding. It happened exactly like you'd expect.
Mm-hmm. I'm trying to think of my next animation where the tree falls the wrong way.
It's funny because he's trying to be all manly, and yet it goes in the wrong direction. The only way it would have been better if it like fell on his truck, or like, fell on him, or
Oh, that's a good idea.
Okay.
I might steal that.
Anyway.
All right. Thank you for watching it all the way through. Here's Morty, and we will see you next week. Bye.
Bye.